So, everyone, welcome to another full moon global healing meditation featuring the Earth Treasure Vase practice that has been cultivated for so many moons, for so many years. And we meet once again on this full moon in Libra, which is in connection with this conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces for the first time in 166 years. An amazing conjunction, along with so many other elements going on in the world at this time that are challenging. So may our practice tonight serve to bring peace to the world and to facilitate the global awakening that we're all committed to in our own ways. So for those of you who are new to the call, I'm Cynthia Jewers, and I've been hosting this call and leading this practice for over 30 years. And it's just always a joy to be together in this way. And today is some of us in time zones around the world are already celebrating Easter, or there's also the Passover celebrations that are happening right now. And it's quite a moment in the world. I was inspired to start reading some of Thich Nhat Hanh again. He has a book called Living Buddha, Living Christ. And in honor of Easter particularly, I wanted to just start by sharing a little bit of Thich Nhat Hanh, just to bring us into a certain kind of awareness that only he can express. So he says, the Holy Spirit descended on Jesus like a dove, penetrated him deeply, and he revealed the manifestation of the Holy Spirit. Jesus healed whatever he touched with the Holy Spirit in him. His power as a healer transformed many people. To me, says Thich Nhat Hanh, mindfulness is very much like the Holy Spirit. Both are agents of healing. When you have mindfulness, you have love and understanding. You see more deeply, and you can heal the wounds in your own mind. The Buddha was called the King of Healers. And in the Bible, when someone touches Christ, he or she is healed too. It is not just touching a cloth that brings about a miracle. When you touch deep understanding and love, you are healed. All of us possess the energy of mindfulness, the energy of the Holy Spirit. Only its intensity and strength vary from person to person. Our daily practice is to increase and strengthen that power. There's no need to wait until Easter to celebrate. When the Holy Spirit is present, Jesus is already there. He does not have to be resurrected. We can feel him right now. It's not a matter of reincarnation, rebirth, or even resurrection. Dwelling mindfully, we know that each moment is a moment of renewal. So I love that. And I love that we're in this moment of renewal and resurrection, and that it's right here, right now, in any moment. So to remember that, and to realize too that mindfulness, awareness, when we're in that place, is in a way very similar, if not just the same as the Holy Spirit, how we might call the Holy Spirit. This primordial awareness itself. And this is what we're cultivating when we practice together in all the ways that we do. And we've been doing this practice here for 30 years, this global healing practice. Speaking of healing, this is one of the gifts, one of the fruits of of our meditation and prayer is the capacity to heal. And so we cultivate that. And this global community has grown over these 30 years in such a way that it's now really evolving to meet the times, as are the practices that we share here. We've matured as a group, and we now have, I think it's very close to 60 treasure vases in the ground around the world. We'll have 70 soon, because there's quite a few in process. And when we're done, there will be probably about 100 nodes on this global healing mandala, all around the planet. And so to do our own part in this process of collective awakening, it's time now for all of us in this global community to take collective responsibility for what we've birthed, that we're all in this together. And this is this amazing sort of living being that is this global healing mandala that we pray into and keep alive every month. And so it just so happens that I have come to a time in my life where I really need to step back from all of the management and leadership that I have held so long in this community and with all these practices, and to pass much of it along to others. And it's really exciting to me because it's actually possible now. And that is such a fulfillment. So it is with the greatest of joy that I want to introduce some people to you tonight who are right here at the center of all of it with me and holding space for all of you. Starting with Nicole Manieri, wave, who is, along with others that I will name, taking the reins as I pass the baton. And Nicole is working really closely with me here at the hub of the wheel of this mandala. After 30 years, in 1990, I met the old Lama. He gave me the practice. I asked him, what can we do to bring healing and protection to the earth? And he gave me the treasure vases, and things have unfolded. And we've carried them all around the world. And here we are. So rather than continue in the same old way, it feels really right to open it up and pass on the assignment so that it's not just me, but it's all of us carrying it forward. And Nicole is really standing at my side now to facilitate that process. She has had her own Earth Treasure Vase experiences with Serpent Mound and now with Italy, which we will hear more about in a minute. And I really have gotten to know her as really kind of a mythic seer, a story weaver, a natural ritualist, as if it comes naturally to her. She's a deep listener. She's an incredibly good group facilitator. And she's honed all of these skills in service to something so much larger than herself. I hope you're not terribly embarrassed, Nicole, because it's important that people know who you are, in some way as you step forward, because you also have these beautiful, practical, organizational and communication skills that we need. And I'm really, really unbelievably grateful to have found you. So I want to also bring forward Rick Jansen, who is working with me and Nicole here at the hub. Well, hi, Rick. Rick came on board when we did our Gaia calling course and has been here ever since in one way or another, and is deeply called to empowering young people to find their purpose in relationship to Mother Earth in these times. And I am so happy about this, because it's really a dream come true for me to have someone come in who really is called to wanting to bring more youth into this global healing mandala and pass on this practice to those who are coming along next. So Rick is going to be updating all of the stories on the website of the Earth Treasure Vases all around the world, and also assisting with the Tara Gaia practice group and the retreat that's coming up. And he recently traveled to Italy to meet Nicole in person and be part of initiating the Treasure Vase for Italy, which you'll hear more about in just a minute. A little later on in the call, I want to bring forward some other key members of this whole team. But right now, I want to give Nicole and Rick and their what did you call yourselves? Your compadres, comadres, in the pilgrimage to Italy, Valeria Felsi. And Valeria had petitioned our Stewardship Council over a year ago for a treasure vase for Italy. And when she brought forward what she was imagining, we all recognized that indeed she was the one to fulfill that task. And so Nicole brought the treasure vase to Italy, to Sicily, from here. And Valeria and Rick met up with her to make a pilgrimage all around Sicily with the vase. And then at the end of that, Valeria brought the vase with her home to continue its ongoing journey. So let's take time now to hear your story, and after that story, before we go into the guided meditation again, I want to say a little bit more about the transition that we're in and how this is evolving, this whole global healing mandala. So for now, I'm going to pass it to you, Nicole and Rick and Valeria.
So I will speak first, as we arranged. And first of all, I want to thank you for the greatest opportunity that I have, and we have. And I'm very emotional at the moment because I feel the power of the Sangha. And I just want to express the power of the vase coming to Italy in a perfect timing, because when I first felt the call to ask for a vase 1 year ago, I was in a different space as I am today, as Italy is today, as the world is today. And I would not imagine how it would all unfold with such a speed. And so the timing is striking, as well as all the unfolding that we will, also Rick and Nicole will share. And I started from a place where I was activated by the Gaia Codex book club. That was a key point for me to step into the leadership, and finding the mandala that you, Cynthia, and the work that you share. And your words are like calling me and I read all the things that you are writing during the Gaia Codex. On the last day, that all happened on the last day of the Gaia Codex book club. And then from there, I went to the website, and while I was reading all the names, I started crying, all the names of the places. And I could recognize myself in this practice as the practice that is like a mirror to me of the all of me. All aspects of myself are activated by this practice. And so it was very clear for me that I was called to do that for Italy. And I was doing it from a space of feminine leadership at that time, connecting deeply to the land where I live, which contains a lot of temples, very old pre-Roman temples, where the sacredness of the goddess is still to see and to touch, and is also in the memory of the land. And this connection, and I was drawn and guided by the land itself. And I myself, I'm not the one who always talk like that, but I had to surrender to this guidance from Gaia and to say yes deeply to the call, because we are called now, as you were saying, Cynthia, to step into our best version of ourselves, and to be in service now is very quick. And 1 year ago, I wouldn't imagine how Italy would go into a very fragmented state, how all the things are going to collapse socially and economically. And I need to call that forth, because this is the reality. And because I see the vase as one of the greatest chances that we have. And to me, this is the medium that I can understand and relate from a soul point of view. How can I be in service in this moment of crisis, of difficulties, of challenges? And the vase broke, and this breaking of the vase is, I think, the symbol of what is going to bring us the ability to come together after a collapse, after a breaking. And as far as I can see and I can feel, is already doing that in my life personally and in the community that we are bringing together to understand the resources that we are standing upon, which is Gaia, which is our history, with all the shadows that we bring and that we acknowledge. We cannot, because we have a lot in Italy. We have the Roman Empire, and we have the Vatican, and we have all these storylines or timelines that we can relate to. So where is the medicine? Where can we find the resources? And we had to go back to Sicily, down at the bottom, at the beginning, where we can learn how to remember from this part of the country that is so near to Africa and so rich of ancestral power. And we were met by the volcano that was activated, and that was also a part of our initiation. And so, and I'm also connecting to a mountain in my region that is called the Sibyl Mountain. And it is a place of initiation and where you are stripped naked, because the mountain is asking you to go inside and to connect to the inner resources. And so I just wanted to share with you how the journey began. And I would like then Rick and Nicole maybe to go further and to share this story. And so thank you so much, really. I'm really grateful and full of joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Valeria. And I see your sister Simona is
Mona, yeah,
who I
yes.
know was also on this pilgrimage in Sicily as well. So welcome to you both. And it's just wonderful to have you coming forward with the depth that you are for this assignment.
It is. Thank you.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So, Rick, Nicole, which one of you would like to chime in?
Go next. I just want folks to know that I'm also admitting people who arrive in the waiting room. So sometimes I'm kind of going like this. So I'm holding kind of a dual attention at the moment, and I just want you to know that that's happening. I'm very grateful to be here and to see all of your faces and some of you becoming more and more familiar to me. I see some of my serpent mound circle, and so hello, beautiful. So about 3 years ago is when I started to plan my journey to Italy, which was first for me an ancestral journey that I was planning to go on, and then the alignment came with Valeria's request and in petition for the vase, and that aligned with stepping closer into the hub of this mandala with the councils and the circles and the communities of practice that many of you are a part of, and to work with Cynthia and in this transition and beyond. And so when the vase was ready and I was ready to go on my pilgrimage for my ancestors, it expanded into larger purpose in almost a threefold way, with going to Santa Fe to anchor in and begin this journey with the mandala in a new way, and then to receive the vase and to bring it with me across the ocean, beginning in Sicilia, which is where my mother line is from. And as you all, many of you probably read the article that I wrote, it was a super intense beginning. And the days leading up to that, Cynthia and I had such a tender and beautiful time, and had cultivated with Elizabeth Christine and those that we were in connection with such beauty and such depth, that I think that it really resourced us for that moment when out the gates, I dropped the vase and I did the thing that probably every steward is afraid to do. And then it was upon me to choose how to be with that, how to be with the vase, how to be with myself, how to be with Cynthia, and to make that choice of how to companion that moment of the break and the brokenness. And I was really scared about what it might mean. But all I knew to do was stop, pause, and breathe. And we looked at each other And what we knew to do was pause and slow down and sit with what is broken and to be with it completely. And we did. And then wait for the next clarity of what to do next. Because we could have chose to just get another vase and say, oh, this one broke, let's just get a different one to go to Italy. We could have, but that wasn't the call. The call was to be with it and then to do the steps of repair. And all of it was a teaching. And there was also the choice of what meaning to make about that. And so I am grateful for that process with Cynthia, because it brought us into a whole another level of relationship, of how we deal with crisis together, what felt like a crisis, and to reflect on what the vase was also mirroring on the very personal level to a transpersonal level of what feels broken in me and who within me is also unbreakable at the same time, and who arises within me to companion this moment of being present to what's broken. And then I reached out to Elizabeth Christine, because that's part of it, is we're not in it alone. And we have circles inside of circles of support. And then we found the gold dust, and we decided to weave the gold into the seams of the vase. As we mentioned in that, Elizabeth brought up the Japanese tradition of that. And then I just thought I'm referring to her as she in this moment. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful in a new way. And we sang songs and slowly wove her back together. And I continue to reflect on all the different layers of meaning of that. And I'm grateful for the grace of everyone around me through that experience. Yeah. So when we landed in Sicily, Mount Etna erupted within the same hour, and we felt joyously welcomed by the land. And the vase was with me for a little while until the Pandino pack joined me in Palermo. And we found our way together from there in pilgrimage for the last week of my being in Sicily. So I think that I will pass the baton to Rick now.
Thank you, Nicole. It's been such an amazing initiation into this working relationship and this particular treasure vase that, as I hope all of you will begin to get a sense of, holds so much and somehow needed to go through that process in order to do its work. And yeah, what you all don't also know about Nicole is that she's an incredible singer and drummer in the Sicilian tradition of the tarantella. And someday you will get to hear her. I hope you will bring that forward into these circles too, Nicole. True gift. Yeah. Part of the healing of the vase included those songs and that drum beat. Yeah. Okay, Rick.
Hello, dear friends. So good to be with you together and to be part of this community. I'm just deeply honored and joyous and in wonder, truly. Cynthia said I joined Gaia Calling in the summer of 2020. And I remember quite quickly, just this prayer arose in me to actually be with an Earth Treasure Vase present, and to somehow be woven into the community. And now, 1.5 years later, I find myself here with all of you, and just returned from the pilgrimage to Sicily. Yeah. When I was reflecting on that this morning, I just felt tears and an emotion arise, and it were the same tears that I felt when I was being with your treasure vase in Sicily. And I will just share some of the highlights that were in there for me, kind of weaving into the story that has been shared so far. I think the first memory that came to my mind is the first evening that we were in council together, with the vase in the middle of us. And we truly sensed her radiance, her love, and her mysterious depths. And just truly this healing force that a little vessel carries. And it reminded me of being in the presence of a living teacher. It was very, just could really feel it in my heart, and this sense of devotion arose that has stayed with me and has stayed with us, I'm sure. That personally I only know from being at powerful sacred sites, or being in the presence of anything that invokes that sense of being in the presence of something holy. So at that point it was really clear that he or she or it, that I will call the vase her for now, would direct our ways, and that we would intend to show up just as humble servants in the best ways that were available to us. And just being centered around the vase together in that way, as a community of 4 people, we really glued together quite quickly as just a solid community, as a solid Sangha body, as I would call it at times. And it showed to me an important thread of the Italy vase that continues to be affirmed by the stories that Valeria shares with us, and that's truly community. Because the vase initiated meetings between us as a group, and as well between the local people and us, and the land, where just visibly boundaries and inhibitions truly melted away, and it would bring each other in resonant and intimate meeting, from human to human, heart to heart, unconditionally. And just one particular moment here comes to mind, which was Santi, and he houses us deep in the forest in the middle of Sicily, and showed us his small Tibetan temple there that he and his wife Yvonne had built together. And some years ago Yvonne had passed away, and since then Santi has lived alone, has continued to take care of the temple. And just really in the course of only 1 hour, something happened within Santi that made him open his heart to us and the vase in really tangible and different ways than at the first time we've met him. So something softened and melted, and as if a weight was lifted off his shoulders. So that is such a precious memory and a precious moment, and it really speaks to the quality of the vase that I've witnessed so far. It is a melting of those layers that stand in between ourselves and our deeper hearts, and as well as a melting of those layers that stand in between us and experiencing our inseparability with Gaia and with each other. And this speaks to the division that Valeria just shared briefly with us that's happening in Italy today. And just experiencing these little moments with the vase, I can imagine, or at least really pray that in the deeper layers that the vase is working on those levels within Italy. And the other memory that I want to share, or moment actually, was when I visited Morgantina. when we visited Morgantina, which is an ancient preserved site, sometimes compared with Pompeii. And the earliest settlement there goes back to 1000 BC. And the Sicels lived there, which is the indigenous population of Sicily. And they lived there in harmony and in deep communion with the earth. And as well the Greek and the Roman had their settlements there. And I was there in the middle of the Greek amphitheater where I basically just went on my knees to the ground, to the earth, just really moved to tears. And somehow I could sense and feel just the presence of that land and the devotion that was there in that community to the natural world and that deep ancient knowing. Rituals aligned with the cycles of nature and that sense of living in harmony and in communion with life and with the earth. And there a prayer strongly arose just within my being. And later came to me that it might have been a prayer from the land that actually came to be carried with me towards the vase. And I will share that prayer after the meditation. But what I will say now is that it weaves in with what we've witnessed during our few days of pilgrimage. And we've witnessed both the individuals and the small groups of people being fully aware of their precious and beautiful heritage and their diverse history and the earth and spirit oriented traditions that are truly there alive still. For example, the Sicilian drum and dance teacher of Nicole. And as well Maria, our first local elder to pray with the vase at the spring equinox at Lake Perusa, which is a lake with mythic significance in the center of Sicily. And the last thing I want to say around that is that we've witnessed as well the other side of the coin in Sicily. Just many people and whole towns that have seemed to have forgotten their indigenous roots and heritage. And in those places it might actually feel that Sicily has grown past its glory, and that it has only become a distant memory and some sort of empty place at this moment. But it's truly alive. That's what I felt in that amphitheater and in the land there. It's accessible. And this is where the younger generations come in for me. I truly feel strongly that it's up to all of us, and especially the younger generations, to remember their indigenous roots and to find ways that are true to themselves in these times, to revive the wisdom that is within their lands and within their hearts. And this was affirmed by a 23-year-old young man who showed up in our final small ceremony at the flanks of Mount Etna, where he was just present, and it was so felt, his connection to the land and his ancient indigenous knowing and him honoring the traditions of his land. So that was such a beautiful moment at the end of our pilgrimage to really know that it's possible. It is possible. So yeah, a joy to be here, a joy to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick. Just the depth that you bring, the depth of devotion and connection that you bring to all of us through your experience. It's so wonderful that you brought yourself to the vase and to Sicily to be part of that initiation, as we are initiating this new cycle as well in the mandala. And yeah, you all, I feel, I'll speak for myself, but I think I can sense it in the room, like we're just listening very with a lot of presence, listening to you and taking in what is being shared. So it's almost beyond words. It's like, wow, yeah. The way that this whole thing has already unfolded with Italy. So we'll be hearing more as things unfold, and we'll focus our meditation tonight with the vase that Valeria is holding, and we'll open it to receive your prayers in just a moment. So for now, I just want to touch back into this kind of evolutionary moment that we're in, and to bring forward a few other people who are so much a part of holding the field for this practice. And that is this Earth Treasure Vase Stewardship Council that we occasionally refer to, and has been sort of behind the scenes for 3 years meeting. And every new moon, so we meet here on the full moon. On the new moon, the council meets, and the council's job is to look deeply at where the next treasure vases need to go, respond to requests from potential stewards, and support the process of accomplishing each of the treasure vases in the world. And the council really has become a group of visionaries. And each member brings such deep insight and spiritual capacity from their own experience as stewards of treasure vases, and also just because of life experience, that is coming into and being offered into this global healing mandala. And it feels like, partly because of this council and the stability of this council, that the treasure vase journeys and pilgrimages and callings and prayers, as we've just heard, have deepened so much over the last few years. If you think back on some of what's happened, as these prayers have deepened and gone more and more and more into the core, of what it is we're praying for, with the healing that's called for. So I want you to meet, and this is just to name the people who are on the council, not all of whom are on the call tonight, fortunately, but we will name them anyway. And that is Elizabeth Christine, who you know, Maggie Whissen in Melbourne, Australia. Hi, Maggie. Yeah, Stephen Comee in Japan. Therese Hogan in New Zealand. There are stories of all of you I could tell. Oh my God. Leslie Meehan is not here tonight. You probably remember her, and I hope you will get to know her better soon. Julian Silburn, who is also not here tonight, but is often here with his didgeridoo, and Julian is also a member of this council. And Cynthia Lazaroff, who was with us last month, stewarding a vase right now to Russia, who spoke so incredibly about Russia and Ukraine. And Laurel Lynn Baker, who is on the call tonight. And where are you, Laurel Lynn? I want you to, yes, hi there. So this is this kind of amazing group. And I hope and I trust and I know that you will get to know them better, because they will be coming forward now in some new ways. You're all so amazing. And what we've done together just continues to emerge, over time as the vases move into new hands and new lands. And as we open ourselves to work with them in the ways that they are calling for, as you so beautifully pointed out, Rick. Because the job is to apprentice ourselves to the vases and to become a vessel ourselves, to listen deeply and to act from that place that is connected to something so much larger than ourselves. So there's one of these members is deserving of a special acknowledgement, and that's Elizabeth Christine. Because her devotion to every aspect of this mandala and living here in Santa Fe, not too far from me, we're often in dialogue with each other about everything that goes on here. She's helped to initiate many of the treasure vases, to do outreach to new stewards, to coordinate with now the third generation of treasure vase group, facilitating now the Monday mindfulness meditation group. And all of this service is just an expression of such incredible generosity and selflessness. The way that you hold the field for me and for all of us, Elizabeth, is just such a beautiful expression of your quiet wisdom and deep compassion. And you are a special friend. So thank you, and for all you do, and I know you will going forward. So as I step back now to take care of myself and to enter a new phase of my life after all of this, I'm not going away completely, but I'm stepping back for a while. And all of these amazing people, including also, I must say, Rasul, who is also on the call, and Rasul is just now coming in to also take a role on the team. So we'll get to introduce Rasul at another time, because we haven't quite started yet, but I'm so happy you're here, Rasul, and I know you're going to contribute a lot as well. These folks are all stepping forward, and we'll be listening deeply and responding skillfully and compassionately as a collective here at the center of the mandala, which is exactly what needs to happen for us to evolve into this collective experience of awakening that we're needing to do in the world today. So I'm just thrilled that the time has ripened for us to be able to embody this in this community and in these practices. So the mandala, the practices can grow beyond my leadership into a collective leadership to take us on the next step of this healing and evolutionary and transformative journey. So hooray and alalaho. And now I want to pass over to this baton, to Stephen and Therese, who will lead the guided meditation. Great thanks for your co-leadership last month and now this month, and I'm sure beyond. I feel such confidence in you both and in this whole group. I know everyone has so much to offer in such new and wonderful and creative ways. So yeah, let's do this. Let's wake up. Let's evolve. Let's transform. Let's heal. And so let's go into the meditation now. And so I hand it to you, Stephen and Therese. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for the opportunities, the introductions, and let's now sink into the meditation together, sink into this vast mandala. And I invite you all to turn off your videos so that you can just come into yourself, into your space, as we begin to ground. And yeah, we'll join back together again at the end for our reflections and prayers. So Stephen and I will turn off our videos as well, and then we'll go in with the bell and the meditation. Perfection of wisdom, mother of Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and all beings, nourishing, holding, and healing all. Great Mother Earth, precious jewel of the cosmos, to you we bow in gratitude. We take refuge in the earth as our teacher, the one who shows us the way in this life. We take refuge in the earth as an expression of the Dharma, the teachings of interbeing, understanding, and love. We take refuge in the earth as an embodiment of the Sangha, the vast interdependent community of life in balance and harmony. In living within the web of life on earth, we dedicate ourselves to embodying awakened awareness on the path of healing in service to all beings. We dedicate our lives to realizing our oneness with Gaia. And so let's begin by finding a comfortable position and taking a few deep breaths together. Breathing in and breathing out. Allow your breathing to gradually slow down and deepen as you feel your body relax. Breathing in and out until you feel stable and calm and connected to your deepest center. And from that place, sensing the ground beneath you now. Feeling your roots reaching down deep into the earth. Feeling yourself secure in the nourishing energies of the earth. And from this place of being deeply rooted in the earth, open to the light from above, from the sun, from the full moon, from the stars, connecting you with the vast creative energies of the cosmos.
Now, let's each acknowledge the ancestors of the original indigenous peoples of the lands we inhabit, inviting them to bless us and this practice. Please bring your full attention to the present moment and form the intention to do this practice for the benefit of all beings. Call upon all of your teachers and guides, elders, ancestors, lineage masters, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, angels and archangels, all wisdom beings that you feel connected to, and invite them to be present with you now. Ask them to bless you and everyone who is present for this meditation, and receive the blessing of their love, support, guidance, healing, and clarity. As this blessing enters you, feel this love and caring entering your deepest heart of hearts. Breathe it in. And breathing out, send this love to everyone who is present in our circle. And again, breathing in, receive the love that is being sent by us all. Breathing in and out, sending and receiving love all around our circle. Gradually expand your focus to include all of your friends, your family, your community, and all of those who this practice may serve. Imagine the circle gradually growing from our homes, neighborhoods, bioregions, countries, and continents to include all beings in all places everywhere, embracing the entire planet in your love.
And now, with the feeling of love strongly awakened, turn your awareness to those who are suffering, the places where there is war, poverty, disease, pollution, droughts or floods, anywhere where the need for healing is very great. Breathe in that suffering, and breathing out, send your love and caring to relieve the suffering of the earth, her people, and all life all around the whole planet. Breathing in and breathing out. Imagine that where there is hunger, we send food. Where there is thirst, water. Where there is homelessness, shelter. Where there is war, peace. Where there is sickness, well-being. Where there is pollution, cleansing. And imagine that there is enough for everyone, everywhere, no matter what. And that where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way, that area has brought great protection and healing, sending that out on the out-breath for balance and harmony to be restored. Recall the beauty and goodness of life, the riches to be found everywhere in nature, the precious gifts of the earth that sustain life, and the very essence of the elemental energies of nature being strengthened and revitalized all around this beautiful blue-green planet we call home.
Now, let us call into our awareness the presence of the entire global community of Earth Treasure Vases that have been planted or are in the process of being planted. Recall how these little holy vessels are filled with all of our deepest prayers and intentions. And imagine that together we are all pouring our love into each and every vase in the form of light, filling each vase with the healing power of our love and caring and our deepest prayers and intentions. Imagine this healing love in the form of rainbow light flowing between the vases, filling the whole global Earth Treasure Vase mandala with the powerful energies of our love and caring. See this energy traveling through the song lines, through the timelines, and the meridians all around the entire Earth. And imagine this love flowing into each location of the global mandala, offering the gift of our love and healing to the people, animals, plants, and places that are connected with each node on the mandala, and each node as the mandala expands. Now, see and feel this global healing mandala coming to life as a whole.
Beginning at the center of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Mandala, a cave above Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. And to the north at the source of the Rio Grande River in Crete, Colorado. To the south at the mouth of the Rio Grande in the Gulf of Mexico. To the east on top of Mount Baldy above Santa Fe. And to the west to the mountain known as Sycamore to the Tewa people of New Mexico, the custodians of the sacred lands where this mandala began. And now, having established the center and the 4 directions, see the mandala growing in every direction, to the Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York, to the Headwaters Old Growth Redwood Forest in Northern California, the Punta Cometa on the coast of Oaxaca in Mexico, Vilcabamba, Ecuador, Jakova, Kosovo, the Lawrence Laboratory at the University of California, Berkeley, the Dal Dam Forest on the border of Thailand and Myanmar, the village of Ain Karem in Israel-Palestine, Hiroshima, Japan, the cloisters in New York City after 9/11, the Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona, the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California, the source of the Ganga in India and the source of the Amazon in Peru, the Southern Pacific Ocean 93 feet down in the Egum Atoll in the Trobriand Islands of Papua New Guinea, the Arctic Circle, Alaska, the Kogi lands of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia, Telwoyon village in Lofa County in the Bwendjima district of Liberia, West Africa, the Blyde River Canyon, Limpopo province in South Africa, the Giza Plateau in Egypt, Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii, the Ntombwe Forest, South Kivu province in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Avebury in England, Bindaluk in Jawan country in the Northern Territory of Australia.
And let us remember the second generation of Earth Treasure Vases in Gabanmang, Arnhem Land, Australia, the Mackenzie King Park, Ottawa Gatineau, Canada, Findhorn, Scotland, the Great Stupa of Budnath in Kathmandu, Nepal, the Flint Hills of Kansas, the Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, California, the Valles Caldera of northern New Mexico, Honolulu, the Kimberleys, Australia, Utqiagvik in Arctic Alaska, the Hanford Nuclear Reservation in the state of Washington, Mount Ryozen, Fukushima, Japan, back to where it all began at the cave hermitage of Charok, Nepal, to Marigibi County, Liberia, Dithihul Mountain, Walbunja Country, the Yuin Nation of southeastern Australia, Arut Temple, Tulugompa in Nepal, the Munzir Valley in Turkey, to Serpent Mount in Ohio, and to Antarctica. Let's also include the vases still waiting their destination, and the Earth Treasure vases being stewarded now, especially to Italy, and to the Bering Strait in Russia, to southwestern Australia, to New Zealand, to Delphi in Greece, to the Amazon forest in Brazil, to Korea, to Ahuaco territory in Colombia, a vase dedicated to healing racism in the USA, another one to Washington, D.C., and to British Columbia, and also the third generation of Earth Treasure vases, now in the hands of the stewards who recently crafted them.
Imagine the light of love also flowing into your own location, your special spot in nature, blessing you and all of nature in your own region, your own node on the mandala. And so now, once again, taking a deep and slow in-breath, a deep and slow out-breath, and sense this current of love flowing powerfully between all of these locations as a flow of deep connection to each other, to each other's sacred places, to the entire global Earth Treasure Vase mandala, and to the whole earth and all of life. Sense this love and healing flowing out into the world, going wherever it's most needed, bringing love and support in whatever form it's needed for healing in the past, in the present, and in the future. See the songlines of the earth connected through each of the Earth Treasure Vase locations in a web of light embracing the whole planet with our love. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves of light from your heart to the Earth Treasure Vases, energizing the vases and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out to the whole area in the sphere of influence of each of the Earth Treasure Vases. Focus your concentration on bringing healing and protection to the whole earth for all time. See the healing and protection radiating out from the vases like waves of light, flowing back and forth endlessly. Imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored.
And now I would like to add a supplication to Earth herself as Tara Gaia for peace. O Tara Gaia, Earth Mother, Mother of the universe, born the embodiment of divine compassion, you who are swift to aid us in your gracious mercy, just by calling your name, just by reciting your mantra, hordes of negative forces are pacified through your sacred power. O you who are undefeatable, whose power is supreme, you who are composed of the radiant, beautiful light of the thoroughly perfect full moon of enlightenment, pacify all adverse conditions, protect us from attack, from both humans and provocations, and put an end to all war. In your infinite loving kindness, please protect us forever. Be our holy refuge, vigilantly warding off all harm. Pacify on the spot all armed conflicts. Disarm all atomic weapons, turn them to flowers. Protect us from all suffering and bring healing wherever it is needed. And by your holy power, bring long life to the earth and to all beings. Om Gaia Mandala Sini Palabrum. Ah.
And now recognizing the great interconnected web that is life on earth, we give thanks for this precious and sacred time together. We pray that the compassion and peace that is our true condition may bring supreme happiness and benefit to the earth and to all beings. We give gratitude to the lineage holders of the Earth Treasure Vase practice for all their support and guidance, and pray for the greatest good to come from this. And we extend our gratitude to our group here and now, holding space for the healing and protection of all beings around the whole planet at this time. And so then taking another deep breath in, together, and a long and slow breath out. As you bring now your awareness back to your body, feeling your feet on the floor, grounding on the earth in your own location, and then take your time as you open your eyes and turn on your videos to return to the group for our discussion. And so I invite now Valeria to open the vase for Italy, to receive our prayers and sharing. And if we can start first with offerings from Valeria and also Nicole and Rick and Elizabeth Christine, who's also been heavily involved in the journey of this vase.
My prayer for Italy and for the Italians is to reconnect to the source of our strength, to Gaia as a living being, and to remember who we are in connection with all the beings, with all the brothers and sisters all over the earth, of all species, and to open up to a wider awareness and presence of being that includes all that we still judge and refuse and are separated and severed from, so that the healing can occur without effort, with surrendering and presence. Hope.
I love you so much, and I see you. And I remember may we feel that ecstatic joy of remembering together the deeper truth of who we are and who we are together. May the weaving be joyful. May the weaving be a dance. May the weaving be a song of community. I'm dancing with you.
may we remember our ancient and indigenous roots, the ways to feel and to nourish our devotion for the earth and for all that lives. To find our own unique ways of authentic connection and expression of our souls. And that especially the younger generations will have the capacity and the insight to revive those old nature-based traditions in ways that are aligned and in service to our times. Let us remember that which longs to be remembered. Let us awaken that which is dormant in ourselves and in the places that we visit. Let us listen to the ancient stories and prayers hidden in our own hearts and in the sacred sites of the earth. Let us become the vessels that we are destined to be in deep harmony and celebration to all of life. May it be so.
And joining with your prayers, part of my heartfelt prayer for this vase was that the Pope, as Pope Francis, as representative of the Christian Church and the Catholic Church, which created the doctrines that hold together the colonizing justification, that the doctrine of discovery be rescinded, the papal decrees, and that people at the Vatican be able to fully acknowledge the harm that's been done through that process to the indigenous people and to our connection to Earth. And coming from Christian heritage, I just feel how powerful this will be for renewal when this takes place. And so my heartfelt prayer has been that Pope Francis will connect with his indigenous roots himself and be able to speak these words of power that can so deeply change thinking that's been woven into governments and free the Christian Church from colonialism to deep care for the mother.
Thank you. And so the circle is now open for sharing from anyone that would like to offer a prayer or reflection. If you just go ahead and raise their hand with the button down on the bottom of your screen there, or just unmute yourself. Yeah, and we'll just
forgive me, Therese. I just wanted to invite Simona if she would like to speak, and please feel free in your mother tongue to speak your prayers.
Thank you.
Sono molto felice di essere qui con voi, onorata e ringraziata. Okay. Io prego perché tutti noi possiamo avere la sensazione e la percezione concreta dell'acqua. L'acqua va dappertutto, l'acqua è in ognuno di noi e mette in comunicazione tutti i continenti. E io prego perché questa memoria sia risvegliata in tutti noi Oh, amen. Amen.
Mhm. And Heidi?
Thank you, everyone, for all the prayers. I have just two images I want to show because they go to this vase. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is the first image that I would like to offer the vase. And the second image is this one. I don't know if you can see it. But to me, it's the feminine, embodied and feminine, embodied soul that is needing restoration. And it needs to come through the place where it was disturbed so that it may become whole again. So those images came to me back in 2011, but they seem to be very present in this vase. So I offer those images. And there was a lot of, I would say, renovation that came along with those images. So I offer that to the vase.
Thank you. And Sister Rosemary? Oh, if you can unmute yourself, please.
I read the article about the breaking of the vase, and I thought, oh, that just embodies my broken heart so much. I think just Elizabeth's and the feminine dimensions that are in so much in need of healing are already prayers in the vase. Yesterday there was, I saw the interfaith gathering of in Ukraine of all the various religions. And there in the midst of them was my Franciscan general, who's based in Italy, and my monastic tradition is based in Italy with the Franciscans and also the Camaldulies, my order, the order of my guru. And so I just thought, oh, how beautiful that I can be present to offer my broken heart for the world and war. And I was feeling so much that the pain of sending all these arms and the continuing buildup. And then I saw a movie from the Voice of the Martyrs called Sabina, and her story seemed to embody more what I was hoping for our world. She's a Jewish woman who in the 40s, her family was killed by the Nazis, and her husband became a believer. She was raised atheist, and he became a believer, and she eventually became a believer. And so one day the person that killed her family came to their home, and the husband said, you know, you killed my wife's family, but when I tell her this, she's going to come and give you a hug and feed you. And he would not believe it. But that's exactly what happened. She came out of the bedroom and went over and gave him a big hug and said, what can I feed you? What can I give you for a meal? And I thought, now, isn't that embodying what Christ really came here to give to us, that this forgiveness and this unity? And so I offer that prayer for all of the areas of our world and our lives that are hurt that we can respond with that same love and forgiveness. And also even just the bickering that has happened over last night, this Ukrainian and Russian together carrying the cross and giving one another the kiss of peace. And yet the religious people in charge are up in arms about it. And so I just put all of this into the vase for healing.
Oh, Stephen, I can see you're talking, but you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was saying thank you, Sister Rosemary, for your beautiful prayer. May it be so that people come to be more in peace. Ray, would you like to comment? Make a prayer?
I would like to offer honor to my father and to all the men who have and women who have known war, but have managed to be kind peacemakers, even within the roles they had to play within the war. And I know that was Second World War. My dad was in Italy, actually in Palermo, after being in North Africa. Before he left North Africa, he threw into the Mediterranean. The government issued German Luger he was supposed to carry to protect himself. He said, no, I will never carry a gun. And he taught us that from the time we were very small. And he fell very much in love with the Italian people in Sicily. And I did a pilgrimage a few years ago to see Sicily, to know the land that he had loved, that he had spoken to us so much about, and especially the water, as Simona mentioned, the beauty of the water, the importance of the water. So honoring him, and as I said, all those and more who know how to keep peace and to carry love, reciprocal love with the people they are among. So, grazie mille.
Thank you, Ray. That was beautiful. And you kind of brought to my mind my father, who was also stationed in Italy. He was in southeastern Italy in Bari. Thank you. So, Laran Hills, would you like to offer your prayer?
Yes, I'm so moved by all of the prayers, and I don't know why this evening I wanted to draw something, and it's kind of wild, but I'll try to show you. It's Earth surrounded by rainbow light, and then underneath here are the vases located, and then the ley lights. But as I was thinking a nice, gentle, lovely light painting, and it just came out really frenetic. And I thought, well, that's the world we're living in, isn't it? It's absolutely, and it's just that. But it's also a picture of rebirth. And I was really feeling the idea of this as the pink full moon, and it's supposed to be spring. We've had snow all week, but I know technically it's supposed to be spring. And that this rebirthing is on so many levels. We're all praying for peace and to stop war, and praying for the Catholic Church to see the error of their ways, and for people to reform. And it's a lot, but within this, the earth is still our container. She holds all of it, and so I would just like to offer my drawing to the vase. Thank you.
Thank you, Laran. It's a beautiful drawing, and it does kind of symbolize all the renewal and the healing of Easter time and the promise of life at Passover. So yeah, May we all have that regeneration. Julie, would you like to speak now?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It feels so good to be with you, and sending so much, first of all, just love and gratitude for the pilgrimage for Italy and the vase and the beauty of the brokenness and the repair and everything that's been said. I wanted to add, this is an image of the Black Madonna. So I wanted to add her to the vase and her fierceness and her love and unwavering strength and fortitude and stamina and many, many blessings throughout so many centuries, opening her heart and her love to us all, and forgiveness to any and all of us that have transgressed, whether we knew it or not, or those of us that do it, whether we know it or not. Her like unbreakable love and caring. So that's my wish and blessing for this beautiful, beautiful vase.
Oh, may the power of the goddess, the prayers of the goddess go with that journey. Thank you. I did see someone just had their hand up, but now I don't see. Let me put on gallery view. Okay, yeah, would anyone else like to come forward and share a prayer?
I would just like to offer up the joy of connection to the beautiful vase. Just the feeling I get of being with all of you, it is magical and it is precious, and that connection, that's what I want to put into the vase. Blessings.
Oh, thank you, Vicky. And welcome, Maggie and Eva.
Maria, good night to everybody, and thank you for holding this meetings and this meditation. And my heart, it's broken for all the people who has been hurt, for the ones that I am so grateful for. I was raised by, went with the nuns on the Catholic Church, and all that I received was love. And when I heard that so many people has been damaged for the same thing that I received so much, all that I want to offer is please forgive us. Please, in the name of all the good that I have received in my life from these women who took care of me, who gave me what nobody else could give me. So I know that a lot of people got the other side of that. So please, I want to say, I want to ask for forgiveness in the name of that love that I received all my life. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your heartfelt prayers. We're right there with you. And welcome, Maggie and Eva from Australia. If you can, oh yeah.
Got it. Greetings, lovelies. Firstly, I would like to deeply honor this vase. And you beautiful custodians. There is such a depth, a profundity, and an integrity in what you are carrying, what you are bringing forth, which is deeply touching. My prayer for this vase is that the many overlays that have been laid on this land of Italy, all the timelines, the different cultures, the uprisings, the coming into beings necessarily so, that at this time as they also break apart, as the vase broke apart, necessarily breaking apart, that golden seam that now seeks to join that whole can rise from the depths of the earth, the blood, the goldenness of the mother, and it can draw out the goodness that has been there in all these stages, evolutionary timelines, that it can surrender, dissolve all of that which no longer needs to be. And that this goldenness becomes a living presence and a reality. There's an expression of the depth and beauty, the deep genesis of the mother being that has abided and awaited as we've learnt, as we've come into being. But now that she becomes deeply in our hearts, in our life, in our ways, that Italy holds its soul destiny, which seems at this time to be very central to a world destiny. I don't understand its deeper ways or purpose, but that's coming into being at this time is miraculous. May the miraculous come forward through this holy vessel in her golden dress. Deep blessings to all of those who carry her.
Thank you so very, very much for the feminine holding of this extraordinary vase with her golden pleats. I just would like to put in this beautiful vase the breaking of Rome's gold into a fluid, beautiful golden light, into a sun for us all that brings peace and brings and just let it all go, this whole patriarchal nonsense. And just I would like to say, well, sing maybe a little sentence in my mother tongue, if you don't mind. And I also learned that in church. And I sang that solo in church at the time when I was a little girl. But it's still very in me, this particular song. Vrede op aarde, vrede op aarde, in de mensen een welbehagen. And then it goes forth, it's peace on the earth, peace on the earth, and for the wellness of humanity.
Mm.
Much love to you all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maggie and Ava. That was beautiful. I especially love the Dutch song. Thank you, Ava. Diana Rico, would you like to comment next?
Yes, and thank you for pronouncing my name correctly, Stephen. I appreciate that. I'm so deeply moved by this vase and what the stewards have shared. Most of my lineage is from Spain, but I do have one line from Italy. My maternal grandfather, whom I didn't know, he died when my mother was a baby, was of Italian heritage, Puerto Rican, but Italian heritage. And he wanted to be here. I had to go upstairs and get a picture of him. I don't know if you can see him or not. Jorge Benjamin Carlo. And we don't know really much about what part of Italy. We think maybe from Bari, but we don't know because he died so young. And my mother wants to be here too. My partly Italian Puerto Rican mother, Georgina. And so my prayer for this vase, my prayers for this vase are, first of all, I want to amplify, I want to add my amplification to all the prayers that have been made so far. May they be heard and answered in a beauty way, in the best possible ways. All those powerful, powerful prayers. And straight through my lineage into Italy, I want to offer my prayers for the deepest healing in all the ways that it is needed there, for the healing of our mother Gaia in that particular part of the world, for the healing of the people and all the other living sentient beings, animal, vegetable, mineral, air, water, all the elements, healing, reweaving. And I love the story of this vase breaking and then being put together again with the gold. I see a great reweaving of Italy, of everything there, all life there. And may it be so. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that prayer for the reweaving. Yeah. In Japan, they call that process kintsugi, which means gold connection. So may we all be connected with that gold and the reweaving and the regeneration. Julie, would you like to go next? Julie Rains. You're muted, Julie.
I unmuted, then muted myself again. Wow, big month. Huge, huge, huge month. And I felt so many words have said and so much emotion shared, felt and received. And I just feel at this moment myself, I'm feeling very full with a lot. So what I offer to everyone and the beautiful vase for Italy is stillness. That may we just have a minute of silence and just be with eyes closed in stillness, just breathing.
Thank you, Julie. Lots of love to you there in Perth. And Wendy, welcome.
Hello, beautiful family. What I'm getting a sense of tonight is the word that comes to my mind is home, and that truest sense of coming home. And I feel like these vases through, around the world, but there's a common home that is in our heart and all of our hearts that connects us to all of these vases that are already out there and to be out there. And so I would like to put into this vase that special sense of home, and that home that knows no time and knows no place. And that when we go to it, we are actually stepping beyond this current dimension. And we know when we're there because we can feel that closeness to source, the absolute sun, whatever you wish to call it. And when we step back, we are bringing that back into this home that is here. But that is a special home. And I think it's in every vase. And I want to add it to this vase, that no matter where we are connected through our common home to this holy, sacred vessel. Thank you. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank Cynthia for all the work, the decades of heart that she has put into this project. And I am so honored, as I'm sure we all are, to be part of this. And what a legacy that will live on forever in the homes of our hearts. So from my heart to yours, Cynthia, thank you so very much. Aho.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for speaking those words that are in the hearts of, all of us, I'm sure. Thank you. Now we'll call on Judith Tripp. And Judith, I believe you have a vase, one of the third generation of Earth Treasure vases destined for Scotland.
This is true. I was just looking at the map, looking at where Sicily and the Isle of Lewis sit on a flow of energy. And this vase I'm holding here wants to say hello to your vase there in Italy. So I'm going to open it also because on May 8th I'm headed for Scotland. And I've known this vase was destined for the Isle of Lewis, somewhere near the Callanish stones, which are 5,000-year-old stone circle, really discovered in the 1800s, rediscovered, but our longtime ancestors, my indigenous roots are from there, from that part of the Celtic world. So this vase has wanted to go there, though it is made of clay from the Tewa world, and it is covered with cloths from Oaxaca, all from the Western Hemisphere. So this is part of the next iteration of the vases and next generation. So it wants to say hello to your vase there, Simona and Valeria. But I'm not sure exactly where this is going to go. There will be a pilgrimage, and as fate would have it, a woman who's been involved in this practice for a long time, whose name is Jan Robertson, some of you may know her, she's decided to come along on my pilgrimage. And we'll be meeting up with another woman that Cynthia met on another Buddhist class back in 6 months ago. And the three of us are going to go and ask the land if it's time for this vase to be buried there. So it may or may not go in the ground then. We don't know, but we're in the process of tuning into and being with the land to see just exactly where it will go. I think Tisha is on this call also. She's coming along with me. So there's a band of women going to be at the stones in the next full moon in May. We'll be there on the 15th or 16th, whatever it is. There's an eclipse and a full moon all together at the stones. So it should be an auspicious time. So these vases, I hope they're having a bit of communication over the course of the flow. I think the thing about this part of the world that really caught my attention was when I stood in that stone circle. It seemed as though there was a flow of energy coming from the polar regions down, and this is like the furthest north and western tip of the European continent, and it sort of flowed down through all of Europe and toward the Middle East. Can you feel that? These flows occur, these places, and when we pay attention to them and potentize them with our prayers and with our intentions, really wonderful things happen for Gaia. These are things that embolden and enliven her. So if I could just sing a little song here and ask you all not to say necessarily prayers, but if you put your hands out and send some prayers to both of our vases here. This is a Gallic prayer. It simply means, "O come thou presence," very much like Thich Nhat Hanh's mindfulness and Yeshua's Holy Spirit. Let me sing this 3 times and please send. Tarahina, 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 Tarahi, Tarahina, 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 Tarahi, Tarahina, 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 Tarahi. Thank you. And I'll leave her open for the rest of the prayers also.
Thank you very much. So we're getting towards the hour, so we'll just take these last 2 prayers and then we'll finish out for today. Welcome, Polly.
Hi, thank you. Having lived in Italy for a couple of years, I had the amazing opportunity to travel around most of the country, been back to visit a couple times, and I've one of the most recent times I did the pilgrimage, the Via Francigena from Lucca to Rome. And the one thing that strikes me about Italy is it is just so beautiful, and all the people are incredibly welcoming. And I just would like to put a prayer into the vase that that this sense of welcoming go into the vase to be brought to all other areas of the world through the mandala. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Laurelyn.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to remember that the Italian culture and people have so many beautiful gifts of all many aspects of culture to offer to the world, that I would like people to remember that when we are asking for Columbus to not be the one who is remembered as the most famous Italian, in Denver here, we have a lot of conflict between the Native Americans and the Italian organizations here when we ask for Columbus Day to not be honored because of the genocide. I just want that to be shifted to a positive expression of celebrating the gifts from Italy that have enriched all of the world through food and art and music and beauty, that everyone recognizes those other things.
Thank you, Laura Lynn. Yes, that's beautiful. Before we come to an end, I'd like to call on Rachel because she's had her hand up for a while. I think we can take that as the last call.
Yes, I was just going to offer a little bit of flute music as the moon rises here in California.
Thank you. That's perfect as we wrap up today's prayers and go off into the next moon. Blessings on you all. I just want to send a lot of gratitude for everyone here today for all that you bring. Thank you so much, Cynthia Jazz, for creating this space and creating this opportunity for us all to be together. Echoing everyone else who's extended their heartfelt gratitude to you as well. Blessings and thanks so much to all of you who are stewarding the vase for Italy. Thank you, Valeria, Simona, Nicole and Rick and all the others who joined you in that journey. Yeah, may all these prayers go with you and also ripple into you as well, you precious vessels of loving, healing energy that you bring to the earth. Thank you, Judith, and blessings to your vase on its journey to Scotland, the ancestral lands. Thank you for the song that reawakens our ancestral lines in us as well, and to all of you joining that journey as well. And thank you, Stephen, for co-hosting with me. And so we'll finish out with the bell and with a dedication of merit. And then if you all like to join your voices to say farewell. Thank you.
Through the merit of this practice, may all beings live in peace and harmony. May there be no more war or conflict, and may harmony among all living beings on earth be realized. Alalaho.
Aho. Thank you, everyone, and please feel free to check in on the Gaia Mandala to put in any prayers that didn't get a chance to be spoken or expressed, or if you have any more visuals, those pictures that you've shared today have been so beautiful as well. Yeah, so we'll see you on the Mandala or next month on the full moon call.
Alalaho.
Thank you.
Alalaho.
Grazie, alalaho. Grazie.
Okay.
Grazie, ciao.
Grazie, grazie, grazie.
Ciao.